What's up, everybody? Welcome to this video. You first of all get the pleasure of listening to my daughter. She's upstairs playing the clarinet and practicing, so you might hear some squeaks. I'm down here in my office, and check this out. We've got a radon mitigation system that was installed in my office as opposed to somewhere else in the house. Don't even get me started on that decision. But it's a little bit loud. I'm gonna be addressing, we've got a fan issue happening on the outside of the house. We're going to be addressing that in a separate video. But in this video, I am basically going to be making a little framed out way to conceal this PVC pipe for the radon mitigation system here. So you can see it's coming out of the floor, and I've already gotten started building my frame. And so I was just going to show you how I did that step by step and show you the end result, which I think is pretty cool. It's going to help cut down the sound quite a bit from the fan, and also conceal this so it's a little less unsightly in my office. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh my God, this is so annoying. This is what we're dealing with. This fan actually failed. It's still working, but it's making a really awful sound on the outside of the home, and it permeates the walls on the inside of the home. Let's take a listen. Can you hear that hissing? Yeah, that's an abnormal fan. I'm going to be addressing that fan fix in another video, but right now, this is enough to motivate me to get this thing covered up. I've got things started for the most part. And a couple of considerations. Number one, this is a vinyl floating floor, so I'm not attaching my base plates here to the floor. Those are just going to be free so that the floor can move as it expands and contracts and does its thing. However, I'm going to be lightly attaching with brad nails this to here. I could certainly glue that or screw it into the studs, but I just have drywall on the other side of this. This is a permanent piece, but I want to be able to, once it's all, said and done and created, I want it to be able to slide out if for some reason we need to access this. And so another consideration is this external electric box here. You can see we've got a screw and a screw because my measurements basically are going to be kind of put this 2x4 right here. I decided to unscrew this and just put a little bit of electric tape. So if I do need to access this in the future, I don't have to take this off and disassemble the whole thing. I just undo this screw, and then there's enough play right here where I can just take off the plate and slide it out like that and access the electric. But I don't anticipate any access needs anytime soon on this. So I've just got 3-inch to 2.5-inch screws connecting this to the base plate and this one as well. This one is connected to here. This one is connected to here. Another thing I'm gonna be framing out, I'm gonna put some horizontal pieces here because I'm gonna add some drywall, 2 layers of drywall actually, that will go and rest nicely inside this cavity right here, all the way up to the top. And of course, I do need to secure that, not to the wall per se, but to each other. So I'll be doing that next. This piece right here, I do need to visually be able to see this gauge and access that to make sure that the unit is indeed working. And so whatever we put here needs to be easily unscrewed or accessible. Wiring, I also have my main internet connection to the house coming in and feeding into the modem here. So I'm gonna have to have a place for this line to exit. So I was gonna install that, or maybe drill a hole through that. I haven't decided yet. So those are some considerations as well. We wanna make sure we have enough room here if we need to slide that up at all, and also up there if we need to slide this thing up at all. Basically, this all needs to be accessible if we need to replace any parts or anything. Making sure my corners are square and my vertical pieces are plumb, and we're looking pretty good. If I do say so myself, here's what it looks like with those horizontal frames in, and now I'm going to cut my drywall to fit the insides of the frame. So I know you're not supposed to probably cut this with the reciprocating saw because of the dust factor, and yeah, there was a lot of dust, but I'm a rebel, what can I say? I did put a mask on, of course, safety first always, and we'll just pop that in there, and that's a perfect fit. I'm gonna double up the drywall with another vertical strip as well, just right on top of that. And using drywall screws, I'll get that secured. On this side, I'm doing 5/8 drywall, just a single layer thick, not double. I would do double, but I didn't have enough with me. This was just scrap from a previous drywall project that we were doing, and I was really lazy. I didn't want to go buy a new one. But 5/8 conceals a lot of sound, plus we're going to be putting wood strips over this and foam insulating and caulking everything. And that's our next step, is caulking. I have paintable caulk here. You can certainly use silicone, but I do want to put a layer of paint on this without it looking too crappy. And we just got it switched out, and this is the sound of the new one, the way it should be. New fan, new model, much more reliable. So with our new fan installed, the sound is much more subdued, and we also have some foam insulation sprayed and caulking. Next, we're going to take some primer. This is the primer that I use. I bought this at Lowe's, and this stuff is pretty awesome. It quick dries, and you can tell no difference between this and the higher end primer. Now, I did put a layer of paint on. This is the paint that we also use. Again, you can buy this at Lowe's. I'll put links down in the description for everything. But this is our go-to paint, very high quality stuff. In most cases, it takes one coat of paint, and you definitely recognize this versus the cheap stuff. And overall, a highly recommended paint. So I'm basically just getting all this painted. Next, I'm gonna take my little wood boards. Now, I bought these at Lowe's. These are 1x4. They're pre-primed and they're super straight. So none of that rigid, cheap pine that you can get for, the construction lumber stuff. This stuff is already super straight, and it saves a lot of work by having it primed. And it's a pretty affordable product, which was huge for me because I had to buy quite a few of them, as you can see here, cutting them to size and then making my little trapdoor marks where I'm going to be putting my swinging door. A lot of people might not like the hinges, but I'm going to do 2 hinges, and if you don't like it, then please comment down below. I'm attaching the boards with a single brad nail, one on each end. Next, I'm going to paint the entire area. Now, I am switching. You'll notice before I did a blue. I had some second thoughts. I'm going to do green instead. I think this looks a lot sharper than the blue. Let's check in with my wife and see what she thinks about this paint.
So what I really appreciate is how it lays on the wall, fills in the cracks, and there will be the need for some second coat areas, but not with the roller, with the brush, because I want to be precise. I really like the coverage and the true to color that it has.
Aw, thanks for that, sweetie. So she's going to finish the rest of the office. I'm going to do this part right here. Again, single coat only for the most part. There'll be some trouble spots for you, like after you sand down the nail heads and whatnot and patch those up. You might need to do 2 coats over that to cover the patch, for example. But for the most part, it goes on really well. Okay, enough about the paint. I'm so sorry. So let's get this drawn on there again. I'm going to be making the trapdoor. I've got 2 just pieces of vertical scrap wood that I'm just going to attach to each board because I want that to hold on tight while I cut this. Now, you could use a miter saw for a nice clean cut. I was pretty confident with my multi-tool skills. I've got a wood cutting blade on here, and it chewed through this after, a good 4 minutes or so, 5 minutes or so of cutting. And it's mostly straight, okay? Not 100%, but 97%, I think. I am pretty happy with that. So I've got that cut out. Now I'm going to cut out the 5/8 drywall behind it, and look at that. Perfect. Now, using those horizontal slats that I just removed, cut out, I'm going to make sure that they're the correct orientation, that they're not turned around or flip-flopped or anything, and I'm going to space them out properly and build a back for them. And to do that, I've got 2 pieces of horizontal wood, and I'll just attach them to the back, and then that will fit just like that. Get them screwed into the hinges screwed in, and now, see that drywall? It's plugged in there. I do need to attach that. So I'm going to put the 5-inch drywall in there and then use 4 brad nails to basically puncture through to grab that drywall in the back. So when you open the door, the drywall comes out with it, perfectly aligned with your cutout. Next, I'll attach the drywall cutout on the back with drywall screws to the 2 wood frames, making it thus one big piece, one big door. And then I'll of course sand everything down. The hinges are on, paint and patch and paint those holes. And this is what it looks like when it's all said and done. We just need to finish painting the left and the right there. But we'll definitely call this job finished and a huge upgrade to the space for an affordable price. Hopefully this video has helped you out. Good luck with your project.